It is one thing to want to win with your new team, but it's another thing when you insult a team that gave you an opportunity. I'll talk about this more coming up here on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello. It is your host, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things St. Louis Blues here on Locked On Blues, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, I'm going to talk about the fact that I am still annoyed with Kevin Hayes and what he said. A positive outlook. What is that going to entail? I'll tell you more about it. And of course, my favorite Friday segment, Are We Feeling Blue? We have a lot to get to on today's episode. I cannot believe it's already Friday. The week has been flying by St. Louis. But luckily, there is still a lot that we need to get through. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. I previously talked about my annoyance with Kevin Hayes and why I felt like some of the things that he said were just distasteful and not something that I want to hear from a guy that used to wear the blue note. Being on the St. Louis Blues is a huge honor. It's a huge honor to wear the blue note. It didn't pan out for him here. He played one season here in St. Louis. Honestly, the things that he said about, I want to go to a winning franchise. The winning franchise that you're talking about is the Pittsburgh Penguins that haven't been playing good hockey. They missed the playoffs. It's not like they did any better this season than we did. I think at the end of the day, there is an element of competitiveness that these athletes all have. I see with guys on the team currently, I see how competitive Robert Thomas can be, Braden Shen could be. I see that, and I understand it. But at the same time, I feel like if a guy like Robert Thomas, for example, were to get traded, he would be graceful about his time here in St. Louis. I think when you have an athlete that has an ego issue, you need to get them out of the team, especially in hockey. Other sports, maybe that's more manageable, but in hockey, you cannot have that big of an ego. Hockey is the ultimate team sport where you truly do need to rely on all the players on the ice at all times. You have your goalie, who is your foundation piece. You have your defensemen, who are there to protect. And then you have your forwards that are there to make some goals and pucks go in the back of the net happen. And I feel like for Kevin Hayes, last season, he wasn't helping out the team. He wasn't elevating the team. He was doing the opposite. Instead of Kevin Hayes taking accountability, and that is today's word, accountability. That's what he had to do. I understand that he has these frustrations, and maybe in his head, he thought that he never had a real opportunity here in St. Louis. The way that I see it, he had all the opportunity. You have 82 games to showcase your talent, your skills, and your ability. In those 82 games, while he was healthy scratch for some, he didn't take advantage of that opportunity here. Instead, he was going on to say, oh, well, I'm more comfortable in the Metropolitan. Okay, well, first off, that seems like the biggest excuse I've ever heard. I don't care if you're playing for the Central, the Metro, the Atlantic, the Pacific. It's the same thing. You get half of the games at home, half of the games on the road. I don't understand how playing in the Metropolitan could really impact him in such a positive way. You played in the Central Division, one of the more competitive divisions in the NHL. I understand that he wants the Penguins fans to accept him and like him, but then he began to bash Philadelphia. And I'm like, whoa, not only are you bashing St. Louis, you're bashing Philadelphia, your former team. Meanwhile, he doesn't have a good relationship with New York either. So the way that I see it, if you're an ex-team of Kevin Hayes, you're going to be bashed. And there are certain players in the NHL that I can understand them bashing their former team, kind of like Jack Eichel and the Buffalo Sabres, which is the most notable one, just because they wouldn't let him get the surgery that he really did need. The Knights did, and now he is a Stanley Cup champion. I understand that. Okay, that is valid. But bashing a team who traded you because you weren't performing, because you weren't executing on the ice, just seems to me to be a little bit egoistic. It seems to me that Kevin Hayes, instead of taking accountability for his lack of production on the ice, he's going to then blame it on playing in the Central Division, not the Metropolitan. What if the St. Louis Blues were the Metropolitan? But Kevin Hayes still blame the Blues being in that division? It just doesn't make any sense. I feel like at the end of the day, there are a lot of excuses you can make, right? Oh, I just wasn't feeling my best. And you know the excuses, okay? His excuse, one of his excuses, I might say, was the fact that he wasn't as comfortable because it wasn't in the Metropolitan. Make it make sense to me, because it does not make any sense. And then these players, they come over and they say how they're so excited to play for St. Louis. And Kevin Hayes said that. I'm excited to wear the blue and I'm excited to play for St. Louis. And then a year later, not even. It's, yeah, no, they never really gave me a chance. I just didn't fit in the locker room. The Blues, and I talked about this before, I've been obviously in the Flyers locker room, right? And I've been in the Blues' locker room. I think the Blues have one of the most enjoyable locker rooms in the NHL. I've been in, the Golden Knights before. I've been in different locker rooms, and I think the Blues are one of the more enjoyable ones. I think that the players on the team, especially when you're looking at Nathan Walker, Alexei Torchenko, you have some of the most lighthearted, fun guys, and I can't see them having a mean bone in their body, especially the Aussie Nathan Walker. I can't imagine him being, unwelcoming. You have Braden Shen, who maybe had something to relate to with Kevin Hayes. And I asked Braden Shen this, and I would love to play you that clip too. So maybe in a couple weeks, I'll showcase that interview that I had with him. But I even asked him, I said, Kevin Hayes and you both have something in common. You both played for Philadelphia. And Braden Shen said, you know what? You're going to play for teams. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You don't stay there, but, it is what it is. And that's the nature of the game. That is such a mature response, and that is the reason why Braden Shen is the captain of the St. Louis Blues. It is because he is able to compose himself in a mature manner and be respectful of the former teams that he played for. I think in the NHL, obviously, your ultimate goal is to win the Stanley Cup. For Kevin Hayes, going to the Penguins, you're not going to achieve that goal. And I talked to Hunter a lot, who does Locked On Penguins, and we've been going back and forth on social media. And I said, Hunter, did you actually like what Kevin Hayes said? And he was like, yeah, he's confident. And I said, well, the way that I'm taking it is that this guy has the biggest ego I've ever seen, and it disappoints me. When I was around Kevin Hayes here in Philadelphia, I genuinely thought, you know what, this guy, he's a little quiet, a little timid, but you know what? Benefit of the doubt. He had a couple bad seasons here in Philly. I'm like, oh, maybe they shouldn't kind of keep him in Philly. He then goes to St. Louis. I'm excited for the new opportunity for him. And I defended Kevin Hayes. I said, every player has a bad season. He's just adjusting. This might be a huge adjustment. Excuses that I was making for him. I'm on the team. I talk about the team, and I was making excuses, and I was justifying his lack of play. Instead of Kevin Hayes just saying to the Pittsburgh media, yeah, last year in St. Louis, I didn't play my best hockey, but I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I had. Kept it at that. Instead, he had to then go on, well, I didn't play my best hockey, but I never really thought I had a real opportunity. You got healthy scratched at the end of the season when the Blues were trying to go to the playoffs. But you being on the ice, Kevin Hayes, didn't help them. And when a team is trying so desperately to pick up 2 points in some very crucial games, if you're not helping them, what's the point of having you on the ice? I think our head coach, Drew Bannister, was very fair with Kevin Hayes last year. I think that he should have been benched a lot more than he honestly was. But again, it's a thing out of respect. He's been in the league for a while. But at the end of the day, it's also not good to have this beef, right, with your former teams. It's not. I think when you're, evaluating a player, and a player that is mature, just a good person, you think of guys that are respected around the league. You might hate Sidney Crosby, given, obviously, I'm talking about the Penguins a lot. but he's respected because he actually is a good human. You might hate Alexander Ovechkin, but he is respected. Matthew Tkachuk, you might hate him. I don't know why you would here in St. Louis, but he is respected. I think that there are certain players that you hate when they're on the ice, but you have to respect them for how good and well-rounded they are. I bet, let's go say, Tkachuk left the Panthers, right? No one would say anything bad about him there in Florida. I mean, yes, I know he got them the cup, but I also feel like on the other hand, Matthew would never bash them either. I feel like he is just a very classy guy. And we saw that with when he obviously left Calgary. So the point is, at the end of the day, you just have to take the higher road. You're a professional athlete. We saw it this season too with Jordan Kyrou when he talked kind of badly about Coach Berube and all the backlash he got. He got booed by his own fans, which honestly to this day blows my mind that that even happened. But he took accountability and said, you know, I shouldn't have said that. Talking to the media as a professional athlete is part of the job. Okay. I know people say, oh, well, they're athletes. They're just meant to play the game. And I get your point. But part of being a professional athlete is knowing how to talk to media. You know, you're going to have media availability. You know, you're going to have press conferences. So you have to conduct yourself in a way that's respectable. You can't be bashing your former team constantly. Okay, fine. If it was a one-time thing, I don't think I would be this annoyed. But it was now St. Louis, Philadelphia, New York. When's it going to stop, Kevin? If things don't pan out with the Penguins and all these Penguins fans that are defending him, he's going to probably bash you too, Pittsburgh. He's going to say, oh, well, you know, all their focus was on Sidney Crosby or something like that. All I'm saying is loyalty in hockey is important. And you might say, oh, you're overreacting, Haley. Maybe I am. But I also think at the same time, if you are a St. Louis Blues fan and you read what he said about us here in St. Louis, you would be a little annoyed too. The people that defend him are the people that don't realize how disrespectful it is when your team gave him so many opportunities that other teams wouldn't give him. So take that with a grain of salt. I know I went a little bit longer in this segment, but I felt like it was really important to express why I felt the way that I felt. And let me know if you feel that way too. I'm going to tell you about my friends over at Gametime. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat and their lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Gametime has priority last-minute deals where you can save up to 60%. They have flash deals, zone deals, all-in pricing, so you get to see those fees combined with everything, which I love, honestly. You also get to see your seat view, okay? So a panoramic view from your buy the ticket. It doesn't get better than that. So this is what you need to do. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. I have a positive outlook. Kind of. I believe that this team is going to make the playoffs. Why am I setting myself up to be disappointed? I just really believe that they can be. I mean, we have the Joseph brothers, okay? I'm excited about P.O., honestly. Then we have Ryan Suter, who I think is going to be a really good veteran leader in the locker room. He's going to probably get that 15 to 20 minutes a night on ice, but I still think that he is going to be beneficial to this team, especially on that third pair. I think that just having somebody with his presence is going to help. I'm excited about Foxa I always mess up. It's so hard to say his name. Excited about him. Like Terrier. Like I'm excited about certain players, but I do believe the core guys that we still have that we had last season are still players that I feel like have so much potential, okay? Like Jake Neighbors, who had a great season last year, is only going to do better. I mean, honestly, like the point that I am trying to make is that why are we going to go into this season being so negative when at the end of the day, you and I, we both know it, that this team is special. Don't you get it, St. Louis? This team would have been in the playoffs last season if they just won a couple more games, especially against the San Jose Sharks. I don't see this team not making the playoffs. I'll put it that way. Sure, there are some things that they need to work on. Not goaltending, though, but like defense, power play, penalty kill. They need to work on that. But I do believe that they do have the foundation to do so. I am having a positive outlook on this because now we have Drew Bannister as the head coach from the very beginning of the season, hopefully to the end. Okay. I do believe that the Blues are going to be good. Honestly, like I can't imagine the Blues not being good. And I feel like I have to kind of redeem myself too because today on Twitter, and I didn't mean to do this. I said, what sweater are you most likely to buy before the start of the 2024 season? I meant 2025. Okay, it was a typo, but I left it. And then Blues Muse said, smart saying 2024 because we all know the season will end for us before the new year. And then to answer the question, Richard has hopefully a Dvorsky Winter Classic. Philip says Winter Classic. And then Evan says we will see what the Winter Classic looks like. I am so excited. I am actually, I don't know if I told you this, I am potentially going to go to the Winter Classic. Here's the thing. St. Louis? Chicago. Oh. But I do plan on going to St. Louis this year, as I told you. So I'm doing my little vacation planning in my head. Vacation planning. But if I were to do the Winter Classic, I think I would literally just like fly down for the day. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be in Chicago like that. Oh. Just like honestly, I'm going to keep it so 100 with you. Chicago fans suck. Okay. um Oh, but like Ringley does look cool. So okay, that's something. But I don't know. Honestly, Ringley Fenway. Wait. Wait, I'm getting okay, wait. It's definitely Ringley, right? Watch it be Fenway. No, it's Ringley. I was right. Fenway's Boston. Whatever. Okay, that again, it's Friday, but I do believe that the Winter Classic will be cool. I have to believe that. We usually have really cool sweaters. I think that I saw something where it was like St. Louis just consistently has the best sweaters. Oh, wait, that was me who put that out there because it's true. No other team can compete with the sweaters that we have. So obviously, I want a Winter Classic. Now, I did like the Dvorsky answer. I might go with a Robert Thomas, but I'm biased. Like it's Robert Thomas season. Also, my account says locked on Adam Juracek. I'm just still very excited that we got him and that I was right with all my mock drafts. But I don't know. Like, what sweater would I buy? Should I just wait for a Winter Classic? Maybe. So let me know in the comments below what sweater you would buy. I really do want a Winter Classic. I just can't fathom not knowing what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want to buy something and I want to know what it's going to be. But like, what if the Winter Classic sucks? And then it's like, oh, I just wasted all my money on something that I did not want. So I don't know. Let me know what you think though. And we will discuss that on Monday's episode because your girl don't know. All right, I'm going to talk to you about my friends. I have a lot of friends, I just realized today, on FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much, and I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games and the sports aren't sporting like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right, and there's something for everyone every day all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Okay, let's be for real. The Cardinals sucked the past couple games, falling 5-0 to the Pirates and then losing at home 10-0 tonight. 10-8 tonight to the Nationals. Luckily, we host the Nats again tomorrow night at 6:15, I believe is the first pitch, and then 1:15 on Sunday. But not liking how they played tonight, but again, it was a high-scoring game, so maybe I would take the Cardinals on the money line tomorrow. When I'm looking over at that National League Central, we're getting closer and closer to the Brewers, so I do believe that we can still catch up to them. But at this point, they can't afford to lose like that at all. Even the Pirates are kind of catching up a little bit too, which is concerning. So we just need to hope that we continue to get those dubs and we just focus on the playoffs. My favorite Friday segment. Bum, 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 bum. Are we feeling blue? Was it a good week or a bad week for the St. Louis Blues? I was annoyed this week. I will tell you that. I think this was an in the middle type of week. I don't think anything was bad. I don't think anything was good. I think that a former teammate, a former player of the Blues, kind of being a little bit ego-y, not the best with his words, shouldn't dictate how I feel about this week with my current team. I feel like there is a lot of hope and a lot of potential that the Blues have, which makes me, as a fan, as somebody that does a daily podcast on them, excited. I understand that, this offseason has not been easy for us, okay? I know the news about Krug, it sucks. It does. It does suck. I can understand maybe they didn't pick up the most talented guys, but at least the Blues added some depth, which is better than nothing, okay? I think that the Blues are heading in the right direction. I do. I'm, and I was thinking about this too the other day about Oscar Sundqvist. I hope he's still doing okay and recovering okay. Because that end of the season injury really did suck. But it can only go up from here, and I can't imagine this team just not being successful. So I'm going to say that this was a good week for the St. Louis Blues, but it was in the middle for Are We Feeling Blue in my answer to that segment. All right. I will talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. And like always, let's go Blues.